Today, it's the final Speedway stop of the year for the Busch Grand National Tour, and the championship could be decided today. Chuck Bound has to finish no worse than 2 spots from closest pursuer, Jimmy Hensley. Now, if he finishes in front of Hensley today, it's all over, and Chuck Bound will be the 1990 Series champion. But that may not be an easy task, Ned Jarrett, for Chuck Bound to accomplish here on the 1 mile super speedway.
No, it won't be, Jerry, because the last 7 races, Bound has only finished in front of Hensley on 1 occasion. In fact, you have to go back to August to find a top 10 finish for Chuck Bound, and certainly the super speedways has not been his long suit this year, so he does have his work cut out for him. Now, even as exciting as the championship battle is, there'll be some good racing here this afternoon. Mark Martin in a Ford starting in 3rd place. He very seldom qualifies that far up, and he's my pick to go to the front pretty early.
It would surprise no one if Mark Martin were to win this race today, but one of the biggest surprises came in qualifying a couple of days ago. 19-year-old open wheel sensation Jeff Gordon from Pittsburgh, Indiana. You know him from watching ESPN's midget and sprint car coverage. He celebrated many times on Saturday Night Thunder. He went to the Buck Baker driving school here just a month ago at North Carolina Motor Speedway, and he planked that car on the front row in his first ever NASCAR stock car start. He's standing by with our Benny Parsons.
Jerry, I'm like everyone else. I watched this kid on Saturday Night Thunder with those 950-pound midgets winning races in victory lane, but yet when he comes to stock car racing, I said, we'll bring him down a peg or two. Jeff Gordon, dude, that's me eating my words. What a great run.
You know, the guys had the car working so good. We just put new tires on, that thing stuck, and I just put her to the floor. And, you know, I owe a lot to Ray Evernham, Outback Steakhouse, and Hugh Connerty for giving me this opportunity.
But Jeff, it's not supposed to be this easy.
It wasn't easy. You know, we've been practicing quite a bit. You know, we went to Charlotte, had bad luck there, worked really hard last week, get the car ready, came here, and, you know, we really weren't that fast until the last practice session. We really found something and went out there for qualifying. The thing was just great.
And Jarrett, Dave Mater, he's going to try a Winston Cup career next year, about 15 races. He got fired this week from the Busch Grand National ride because you're going to run Winston Cup, but look at him on the pole, already trying to open some eyes for 1991.
The die-hard starting grid here at the Rock, North Carolina Motor Speedway. Of course, that front row, 35-year-old Dave Mater picking up his first ever pole, and the open wheel sensation making that first start, 19-year-old Jeff Gordon. And Ned Jarrett, row 2, the man you talked about, Mark Martin, starting inside of Bobby Labonte.
Well, I think that Ford can be strong here this afternoon. Of course, Bobby Labonte has run exceptionally good on the super speedways this year. We see Darrell Waltrip starting there in the 7th position. There's Jimmy Hensley, the fellow who's trying to chase down Chuck Bound for the point championship. Hensley starting 8th.
Houghton row, back row 5. Dale Jarrett, who's won twice this year, he will start in the 10th spot. You see Chuck Bound, our current point leader, starting inside of row 8 in the car number 63. He must finish in front of Hensley or close to him. Dale Earnhardt, row 9, the 4-time winner, and Morgan Shepherd, a potent row 9, Ned.
And Morgan Shepherd driving a Ford, so we have 2 Fords in the field. Normally we only have Mark Martin, but Shepherd has high hopes for his Ford this afternoon. We see the pole setter for the 500-miler here, Ken Schrader, back in the field. 5-time national champion Jack Ingram starting back there in row 11.
And who could forget Jeff Burton, the car number 12, who wanted right up at Martinsville on ESPN's coverage. Rick Mast, the winner this year. And, of course, Ward Burton there, rookie driver, impressive at Charlotte.
And we saw Patty Moise and Elton Sawyer starting side by side there to be married in less than a month.
Husband and wife to be. You take a look at our very potent starting field here in the die-hard starting grid. 40 drivers at the start of this field. Remember, one driver, Joe Nemechek, had a problem yesterday, Ned, in the final practice session. You look at some of the drivers who missed the field. 49 cars on hand to attempt to qualify, but Nemechek's car erupting in flame yesterday. He destroyed the car, had to be pulled for the car. An act of valor by Ward Burton to pull him out of the burning race car, but Nemechek will miss the field today as we get set for the green flag here. The AC Delco 200 coming your way on ESPN. Lap number 1. Car number 67, that's Jeff Gordon. Relative inexperience on the 1-mile track. Not surprised at all to see him slide back a little bit as now some of the other drivers begin to make a move. There is Bobby Labonte moving inside of Jack Sprague.
One thing Gordon wants to do is get out of that high groove, Jerry. That's not the place to be, especially early in the race.
Bobby Labonte, Sprague, then comes Gordon. Veteran 3-time Winston Cup champion Darrell Waltrip in the car number 17 there, the Superflow Chevrolet. Right behind the youngster, Jeff Gordon. There is Chuck Bound, our point leader, car number 63. Of course, Dale Jarrett to the right of him, and Earnhardt now making a move inside of Dale Jarrett. Right behind Els, we're watching the youngster getting a lot of experience. Ned Jarrett is Jeff Gordon. Now, take a look at the line that Gordon is running. Some of the drivers talking about Gordon was running the track like an open wheel car, going way deep in the corner before he was turning the wheel.
Well, it's probably the force of habit, Jarrett, as many years as he has been driving the open wheel sprint cars, and those cars you sort of throw them into the turn. The lighter weight, and of course he has run a lot of dirt as well. Now these cars, you don't drive them quite as deep as you would those cars, so it looks like he's adjusting pretty good now.
Jeff Gordon holding his own, impressing so many people here, not only in qualifying, but in practice, and now holding his own here in the early part of the AC Delco 200. Eddie Jones and the crew will go to work on the three-time Winston Cup Champions car, the Superflow Chevrolet Lumina.
Apparently has a flat tire.
Trouble in the backstretch. Jeff Gordon is coming to contact with the wall. A couple of cars spinning, trying to avoid. Jeff Burton spins. His car loops around. The car number 12. Other cars spinning down toward turn 3. Jeff Gordon is coming to heavy contact with the wall coming out of turn 2. Slid down the back straightaway. We have caution flag for the third time today. Other cars involved. The car number 33 spinning around. That's Ed Barrier. Gordon's car has come to rest against the outside retaining wall up in turn 3.
Well, it's happening right in front of the biggest part of the field, Jerry, and we're fortunate that more cars were not involved. Let's take a look at it again. Well, it looks like the back end might have got a little loose as it came off a 2, and then when he corrected it, he got back into the wall on the outside, and then of course everybody else, or a number of cars trying to take evasive action, lost control of their cars.
And you see his wheels are turned to the right. He knows that entire field, some 25 cars are behind him. He kept that car against the wall. A smart move by a very young race driver. He's young but very mature. He saw the wheels turned hard right, and Jeff Gordon kept that car up against the wall and kept it out of other traffic. We are under caution for the third time today at North Carolina Motor Speedway for contact with Jeff Gordon. Don't go away. Lots of laps left. Well, we talked about Jeff Gordon, had a great qualifying effort, but his day has gone pretty sour early on. It came into contact with the wall. He is now standing with our Benny Carson.
Jeff, it's a pretty heavy contact. What happened?
Well, you know, we got looser quicker than we thought we were going to be. We thought we'd be a little bit tighter, and then the car would come to us a little bit later in the race, and it got pretty loose. And, you know, I was just trying to hang on to it, and there was a lot of guys in the back coming up that had changed their tires. Some of the guys that even had there just a little bit faster. And I went into one a little bit too hard, and I got up high, and the rear end started to come around, and I thought I had saved it, and then it just started fishtailing. I was trying to catch up with it. I probably should have just let it go on around, but I was trying to catch up with it, and it just hooked up, took the front right in the wall. So, you know, I guess we're just gonna go through these days, and we just learn from every mistake we made. So, you know, we'll just go to the next race, I guess.
There is going to be a next one, though. That's the good news.
Yeah, we'll be at Martinsville.
Bobby is also a lap down. He and Jarrett, several other cars had just made a green flag pit stop before the last caution came out.
Out of the race, Ted, Tommy Houston, Jeff Gordon, Jeff Green, those 3 cars. Gary Ballou, we talked to Gary a little bit ago. Jack Ingram involved with Larry Pollard in that accident up in turn 2. Stanley Smith, former All-American Challenge champion. Bobby Hamilton involved in the pit road accident. And Bobby Moon, an impressive young rookie driver, having a parking here this afternoon. Let's take a look at the full field rundown here. The top 40, of course, Grissom winning it, Ned, and you see the top 5 there. Martin, who was a great force today, finishing in 4th spot, and a lot of drivers having a pretty good afternoon.
Yeah, several drivers made pit stops during the green, including Harry Gant, Dale Jarrett, and Bobby Hillen, but they came back. Darrell Walter ran strong all day, but he had a problem near the end of the race. Ed Barrier topping out the top 20 there.
Jimmy Hensley finishing 25th, Ned. He was the guy who wanted to win the championship. Patty Moise back in 30th. Jeff Burton and being involved in an accident. And, of course, these guys wanted to run well here. This is the last Super Speedway race, but not the last race of the year. They go to Martinsville, Virginia, of course, next week.
third-generation racer, past Indy 500 Rookie of the Year, died Sunday morning during practice for a C.R.A. sprint car race in Bakersfield. Vukovich was hot lapping for the next-to-last race of the year when his throttle apparently stuck open and the car swerved into the wall. He was rushed to nearby Kern Medical Center with massive head injuries and pronounced dead a short time later. In 1988, Billy upstaged his fellow sons of famous racing fathers, Al Unser Jr. and Mike Andretti, by becoming the third Vukovich to race in Indianapolis. He finished 14th, earning rookie honors. In '89, he ran 12th. In 1990, 24th. The 500 produced 3 of Billy's 7 IndyCar starts, resulting in nearly $500,000 in earnings. While he waited for his IndyCar dreams to gel, Vukovich dominated West Coast Supermodified racing. In '87, he won the USAC Supermod title with 12 wins in 17 races, including a stretch of 7 in a row at one point to tie a record held by A.J. Foyt. 3 generations of the Vukovich family have given their all to motorsports. Now 2 of those generations have paid with their lives. Grandfather Bill Vukovich won the Indy 500 in 1953 and 54. He was leading early in the 55 race when he ran into the crash cars of Roger Ward and Johnny Boyd and flipped off the track to his death. The next year, Bill Vukovich, Billy's father, made his debut, raced Indy cars for 12 years, won Rookie of the Year at the Speedway in '68. He was second in '73 and then retired. During a visit by father and son to Motor Week, I asked Bill about his thoughts while watching Billy race.
Dad, the story says that even though you had no qualms yourself about your own racing, that you did, along with Mom, have some reservations about the kid trying it. True or false? Is that just press release stuff?
Yeah, no, it is true. I don't really enjoy watching Billy race. I mean, it gets so bad for me that I get concerned. He's my boy. And a lot of times, Billy, I've watched him run the Copper Classic. He won it a couple, 3 times, and I think in those 2 years that I were there, I think I seen him actually run a total of 4 or 5 laps in the race. I just go down and I hide and I walk around in between motorhomes, and when he qualified at Indy this year, I went back in the garage and turned on the radio, and I'm concerned about his safety.
My goal, I guess my long-term goal, I want to run all the kart races. I want to win the kart championship, win Indy. That would be, you know, what I'm looking at right now.
Billy Vukovich III was 27 years old.